old lady almost called the cops on me at Target. I'm gonna tell you why. It's story time, my friends. So back in 2018, me and my best friend Daniela decided to take a quick trip down to Target. So we're at Target, you know, looking around in the beauty section, and then Daniela tells me that she has to go to the bathroom. Daniela leaves and goes to the bathroom. I'm still in the beauty section. While Daniela is walking to the bathroom, I get a brilliant idea. You know, another one of my brilliant ideas. I decide that I want to go scare Daniela. While I'm walking to the bathroom, I'm trying to formulate a plan on how can I scare this. At the time, there was this trend where you would like go to the bathroom and then you would like, you would aggressively grab somebody's foot and like try to pull them from the nose. I'm approaching that bathroom. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get her so good. I'm gonna get her. So I open the door to the bathroom and I have to see which stall Danielle's in. So I take like a little quick peek. You know, I don't want somebody to see me. So I take a really quick peek and I see Danielle's shoes. So I get into the stall next to her. Or so I thought I did. I quietly get into the stall next to her. And I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. I'm like warming up my hands. Y'all, this part is so fucked up. I aggressively grab her feet. Y'all, this is how I grabbed her feet. Mine now. And all of a sudden, I just hear, oh my God, help! I immediately let go, and I'm like, oh my God, what did I just do? Meanwhile, the old lady's still screaming for help. Help, help, help! I don't even think this old lady wiped or put on her pants because she's out that bathroom. And I just hear this old lady screaming throughout Target, help, help, help! Daniela from like 2 stalls down. What the f was that? I'm like, oh my God, Daddy, I just assaulted a poor old lady thinking it was you, bro. Daniela is just busting out laughing, like laughing hysterically at me. And I'm just over here like, oh my God, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. This is it. This is it. This is what gets me. I am absolutely terrified to leave the bathroom. I'm like, I'm staying in here for the rest of my life. I muster up the courage and me and Daniela walk out that bathroom. Outside the door is an old lady and a security guard. This old lady starts going off on me, bro. She's going off. I'm like apologizing. I'm trying to explain that it's a trend. This old lady's yelling at me. She's threatening to call the cops. And I'm over here starting to cry. She ended up not calling the cops on me, but I did get banned from Target for 3 years. Thanks for tuning in.
Storytime about how I caught my dad watching me while I changed. I think he's trying to gaslight me. I need help. Disclaimer, this is not my storytime. It's sent me on Instagram. I'm 17 years old, about to turn 18. My parents got a divorce when I was 13. My mom caught him cheating on her over several times. And one of the times he even did it at home with some girl he met at a bar. Because of that, my mom told me not to ever trust him. But the way she would say things made me think that there was something else behind everything. After the divorce, my mom got full custody, thank God. This is when my mom told me that I needed to stay away from him. She told me that if I ever found myself alone with him, that I should just call her and tell her to pick me up. When I was 13, I never thought about it twice. After the divorce, my dad started dating a 19-year-old girl. Mind you, he was 46 at the time. When my mom found out, I remember she called him. She told him he was disgusting for dating someone that was 19. But my dad laughed on the phone and hung up on her. My mom didn't even know that I heard the conversation, but she had it on speaker, so I did. He did have rights to visitation though. So he would come over every Saturday and Sunday to visit me, but my mom never left us alone. But my dad has been giving me such weird vibes lately. When I bring it up to him, he says I'm hallucinating and imagining things. Part 2 is up. Storytime about how I caught my dad watching me change. I think he's trying to gaslight me. I need help. Disclaimers is not my storytime. It's sent me on Instagram. When I turned 15, I started growing more into my body. My boobula started growing in a little more. This is when I noticed that my dad would look at me a lot more when he would come over to visit me. But like I said, my mom never left us alone. This is also around the time that my dad started asking me if I was interested in boys, and that if I ever let a boy touch me before. But it's the way that he said it. It wasn't like in a fatherly way. It was in a gross, nosy way. As soon as he asked me that, my mom told him to stop talking to me like that. And she answered for me. She said, of course she doesn't let boys touch her. What do you expect? My dad laughed and said, okay, fine. Just making sure. I was completely grossed out by my own father. Ew. When I turned 16, my mom started letting me date, and this boy I really liked actually asked me out. I was really excited. I mean, he said he wanted to meet my mom. He came over on a Saturday and my mom made lunch for us. We had a really great time, but then my dad knocks on the door. By the way, he told us that he wasn't going to be able to come, which is why my mom invited my boyfriend in the first place. As soon as my dad comes in, he started acting jealous. Part 3 is up. Story time about how I caught my dad watching me change. I think he's trying to gaslight me. I need help. Disclaimers and now my story time is sending me on Instagram. That's when my dad started acting all jealous when he saw my boyfriend. He took my mom into another room and said that I shouldn't have a boyfriend and that I was too young and that he would take advantage of me. But my mom stood her ground. She asked him politely to leave and he did. The following Saturday, my dad comes over to visit again. This time I was in my room changing. My mom told him that I was in my room changing, but she went to the kitchen. Obviously, this is when my dad comes upstairs. The door was slightly open and he could see inside. I was finishing putting on a t-shirt, and when I turned around, there he is looking. I screamed and told him that he scared me, and I told him, "Why are you watching me change?" He said, "You're crazy, I wasn't doing that." I said, "Yes, you were, I just saw you." I was so weirded out. After he left, I asked my mom why she never leaves me alone with him. That's when she told me that he was accused of SAing an underage girl. So I told my mom what happened. That's when she said he's never coming back to this house again. Now my dad is gaslighting both me and my mom. He even called me a liar and that I'm making it up. But my mom, of course, believes me. What should we do?
For real though, I was hooking up with this guy in college, okay? And he said, "Yo, I want to date you for real." And I said, "I'm open to trying it." And I thought he had a fighting chance, okay? Because he knew me. For example, he knew that I hated Subway, okay? Okay, listen to me about Subway. Let me tell you something. Subway puts a little salad on a bun and a tiny little strip of deli meat, and then they're like, "Here's your sandwich." It's not a sandwich, that's a salad on a giant crouton, and it makes me so mad. You have to ask for like 2-3 times the meat, and he knew this doofus knew this. So he took me on my first date. He was really excited. He's like, "I already have some things in mind." Took me on my first date with him to Subway. He took me to Subway, and then he said, "I'm going to order for you because you clearly don't know how to order, and that's why you hate Subway." And he ordered me, it looks like I have a little beard. He ordered me a meatball sub. We took our sandwiches to the theater on campus, and we climbed up into the rafters and just like ate them looking down at the empty theater. And he said, "Do you like Subway now? You like Subway now, right?" And I was like, "I mean, no." He also knows that I hate bowling. My OCD brain just doesn't like it, okay? It's not fun for me. And he said, "I want to take you on a second date, on a double date, bowling, because you don't like bowling." And I said, exactly, let's not do that. And he said, "No, but you'll like it when you go bowling with me," which is so cocky. And I settled for, I was like, fine, I'll go on this double date, I'll go bowling. And then afterwards, I didn't enjoy it. And he's like, "Did you have so much fun? Did you have so much fun bowling with me?" And I was like, no, I told you I wasn't going to enjoy this at all. But the third date is probably the one that I'm most ashamed of, because he's like, "I'm going to keep it a secret. It's going to be such a good surprise." And I just thought, considering the last 2 dates we've been on, this secret isn't going to be very good. And it wasn't. He took me to a grocery store, and there was like a secret quarantined off separate room in the grocery store that we hooked up in, kind of. We got caught by a janitor and like ran out, but it was just a janitor, so he didn't like kick us out of the store. And then we went and sniffed candles, his idea. And then a song started to play in the store that he liked, and he said, "Dance with me in the aisle to this song." And I said, "No." And he said, "Why not? It'll make such a good story for later," which I guess he wasn't wrong. But he was like, "Why won't you do it?" And I said, I'm not having fun. I'm enjoying none of this. This whole evening has been very uncomfortable for me." And he was like, "Come on, it's all about the experience. It's all about making these memories." And I was just like, I think you're more obsessed with a specific story that you want to live, a specific romance you want to have, rather than the kind of person you want to have. Like, you're more focused on the specific details of the story that you want rather than who you're experiencing it with. And after all that, he said, "Will you date me?" And I was like, "No." And he said, "But why?"